Don't compare your insides with other people's outsides. I heard that said in 12-step rooms of recovery a long time ago, and it's stuck with me ever since. Don't compare your insides with other people's outsides, and how true that always is. We tend to beat ourselves up and see the areas in which our lives seemingly don't measure up, and then find examples of people who have it seemingly all together, and then punish ourselves for not being more like them. And then we either hate them for it or hate ourselves for it, or probably a little bit of both. And what we will never know is the way those people also struggle with the realm of principalities which demonize them as well. We don't see that. We only have access to our own insides, our own little 3-pound universe, not theirs. Our dreams and secret fears are all our own. And this is why cultivating compassion becomes paramount in our battle to up-level our existence and reach for our dreams. This is all about getting compassionate for yourself and up-leveling your ability to overcome all the typical resistance that will occur when we go for our dreams and our visions and try to, formulate a better life for ourselves and be of greater service for others. Compassion also for others in understanding that no matter how great someone else's life appears, they are subject to the very same battleground for the soul's salvation that we are. And we will never know the secret chambers of their heart or psyche, where from their deepest fears spring forth. And if by chance they really were beyond all that, beyond all these secret fears I'm talking about, then on the level of the ego, they really probably wouldn't exist at all. They'd be enlightened. So again, there would be nothing really to compare yourself to. But in the realm of a dream's pursuit, having compassion for yourself is even more important. Self-compassion as a tool to battle resistance or for the tumultuous, long and journey ahead. Compassion for yourself when you fall short, along with an innate understanding that you will fall short, and more than just once. You will be overwhelmed and sure that you aren't doing it right. You will want to give up and be void of inspiration and void of course. These things will happen. It's a guarantee. They'll happen along the way. And if they don't, then consider yourself some kind of superhuman. But controlling ourselves and our behavior over an extended period of time and attempting to change that behavior towards the betterment of our lives and the lives of others is the hero's journey for a reason. Meaning it's a hero's journey because it's a heroic thing to pull off, because it's a rare thing to pull off. And it's rare because most don't have self-compassion. They begin a program of change and fall short after a few weeks, if you even make it that long. And then they beat themselves up relentlessly and cave into the demons of the old mind. They reach for cheap dopamine-inducing behaviors to escape and feel good. And here's the thing. Demonic principalities, which is what we are fighting. Here's the Bible quote. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. Ephesians 6:12. Okay, so they get amped up. The demons do. They get amped up when we make a break for it. They're like prison guards. They get upset at the prisoners when they try to escape. When we try to escape the confines of our old world, they don't remain neutral in response to our attempts. They come with more intensity and punishment when we fall short. They punish us for getting ideas above our so-called station. And so when you fall short, they beat you up in severe ways, making escape even more difficult. They can't compete with compassion, though. Compassion is their kryptonite. Imagine your inner dialogue filled with compassion when you fall short. You say something like, hey, it's okay, man. We all do it. You know it's going to happen. So just have that compassion. It's your secret. It's the secret sauce. Not using it as an excuse, mind you, to fall short. on purpose, but rather understanding in advance that it will happen. So when it does, you understand that you aren't off course at all, that in fact, this is the course. Days and maybe even weeks of missing the mark, of seemingly being adrift, don't mean you have lost the war. Perhaps a battle, yes, you lost a battle, but not the war. Compassion means letting go of perfectionism and understanding that within a moment of falling short comes an opportunity to overcome, to get back on course, to self-correct and investigate the triggers that threw you off your game in the first place. Yes, return to God in prayer and silence and reapply his divine armor, the armor of God. Begin again from here. From now, the beginner's mind. You can choose to do that at any time. I mean, on my journey, I've fallen short a lot of times, and even recently. But when I think about coming right now and starting again from here now, I'm starting with a building up of a lot of stuff, a lot of skills I've already acquired. It's not starting again from scratch. And to the voices which catastrophize and say that you've blown it and that you'll never make good and you'll never overcome, smile at them and simply say, yeah, I've been expecting you. Compassion for self and paying attention to self-talk go hand in hand. Oh, yes, they do. Here's another quote. From the fruit of their mouth, a person's stomach is filled. With the harvest of their lips, they are satisfied. The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. Proverbs 18:20 and 21. The tongue, or our words, define our lives. Our inner dialogue or self-concept is reflected in so-called reality, but the primary reality resides in the conversation we are having within and at all times. Here's another quote. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee. Proverbs 23:7. For as he thinketh, so he is. I hear people, they often call manifestation a demonic practice. Christians will often throw it into the realm of the new age and leave it there. But the Bible is clear about the power of our words and inner dialogue to shape our lives and our own responsibility to guide and direct that inner dialogue to the degree that we can. And while we don't really have the power to control every thought in our head, of course we don't. Where we have power is the ability to observe ceaselessly every thought in our head, and in the light of presence or God, amend them along the way, to disallow negative trains of thought to run rampant and overwhelm, to create depression and anxiety, to allow anger to linger or judgment and condemnation to ever take hold. All of these things will bubble up. Of course they will. All of these things will make an attempt to overcome us and our dreams for a higher vibration. They will all come. Believe that. Even Jesus was tempted by evil. Even he had conversations with demons within. So what chance do we have? Come on. We don't have the power to obliterate their influence altogether. But through the power of observation and attention, we have the ability to cut them down at their knees. The armor of God is built by the power of our attention. Yes, we demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. That's another Bible verse, 2 Corinthians 10:5. And this basically says it all. We demolish arguments against God. That is self-defeating inner dialogue by holding every thought captive through the power of our attention, right? And making it obedient to Christ, or aligning our self-talk with our highest ideal, creating a fulfilling and abundant life rooted in the service of others and the betterment of mankind in general. Yes, it's a very simple concept, even matter of fact. And who would argue it really beyond religious prejudice or resistance? Most, I think, would love to build an existence according to these ideals, framed in religious talk or not. But when we do frame it in the religion of Christianity, We get the tremendous benefit of not having to wage this war on our own. The demons we are up against are beyond our ego's ability to fight them alone. An army of demons will defeat a man or a woman standing alone every time. Ours is to hold every thought captive, and from there, lean on our faith and surrender the battle over to God. We then have His army behind us, and one by one, we see the demons disappear. And that is where we want to be. Let us know how you use self-compassion to overcome resistance and how you work on your own self-talk through the power of observation in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.